Louisiana Beer Reviews, Special Edition number 2, Busch Beer Revisited. This was the second beer I ever reviewed when I started my Louisiana Beer Reviews last year, in 2010. And like I did the Budweiser, I'd like to reassess this one. Busch Beer is 4.6% alcohol. It uses 2-row and 6-row malts plus Munich malt. It also uses U.S. grown Cascade, Glacier, and Millennium hops plus European grown Tradition and Strisselspalt hops. And besides the malted barley and corn, besides the malted barley and hops, it also uses corn and yeast plus water, of course. Well, it gets a D on Beer Advocate. The bros gave it an F. I gave it a B, actually. It gets a 0 on Rate Beer out of 100, a 0 out of 100. And it gets a most excellent rating on the Beer and Me. Well, it's funny because this is a really popular beer, and the Busch Light is even more popular. But the beer reviewers tend to hate it, and I think that's where you have the split in the beer world. You've got people around the country that really like Busch, and it's popular, and you see it in every store, and they really enjoy it. And then you've got beer enthusiasts that hate it. And I just can't get over that, because it seems like if a beer tasted that bad, it wouldn't have any people, there wouldn't be anybody buying it. But I don't know, maybe I just don't get it, or I can't grasp it, or I don't understand it. Well, I'm going to try to be open-minded and give it a fair rating, so here we go, this 32-ounce quart. Okay, some smoke there. This was, the born-on date is June 11th, so it's not quite 2 months old. Got a lot of smoke coming out of there. Busch was introduced in 1955 by Anheuser-Busch on a regional basis, sold in the Midwest and the Southeast, and it was originally called Busch Bohemian Beer, Busch Bavarian Beer, excuse me. Bohemia and Bavaria are next to each other, but they're two different states. In 1979, Busch was rolled out nationwide. So it's been available nationwide for 32 years, and the Bavarian was dropped, and it's just simply been called Busch Beer for the last 32 years. Okay, the head wasn't too much, really. So in this one, sometimes you pour it and it might be really thick, but I don't know if it's the glass or the bottle I'm pouring it out of, but the head on this one is thin and very white, and the appearance is clear, super clear, and straw. Just a little, it's yellow straw color with a lot of bubbles streaming up. I was going to say a little bit of gold, and there is a little bit of gold there. On with the smell test. You get a lot of sweetness with this, and standard beer aroma, and very clean water. So to me it has a really nice aroma. Let's give it the taste test. It's very light and watery. Busch tends to be light. It's brewed to be that way. It's 4.6% alcohol. It's only 122 calories. Budweiser is 5% alcohol, okay? So it's much lighter bodied than Budweiser. Get some grains. There's like a slight grain flavor. There's a much stronger sweet flavor. There's a little bit of hop bitterness, but it's minimal. It's really in between a light beer and a regular beer, on the lighter side. It tastes better than Bud Light. It's better than the Busch Light. It's better than, well, it's better than light beer. Personally, I prefer beer that's bolder and more full body. But I was cutting the grass today, and I just finished raking. And for for a thirst quenching utility, it's very good. Um, it's very refreshing. The finish is crisp and clean. You see, it does have some lacing. I don't believe they throw this thing together. I don't believe it's just put out there and they don't care about it. I think InBev does care about the brand, and I think Anheuser-Busch cared about the brand when they owned it. It's one of their flags. It's not the flagship brand, but it is one of their flagship brands. It's mid-range. It's not exactly a budget beer on the level of a natural light or natural ice. It's priced a little bit above that, but below the Budweiser. Around the level of Miller High Life, let's say. Even though it's light, it's very low in the taste category. It's pleasant to drink. It's not something I typically buy because I prefer higher alcohol beer. I'll tell you the truth. I like something at least 5%, if not higher. But I never drink Busch and think it's terrible, and I would never give it an F or a D or even a C. I think it's above average. I think it's at least a B minus. Okay. It's got some bitterness coming in. I mean, it just has some character. It has its place. It's a good, refreshing beer. It's not challenging, and you may not be looking for a challenge. You might just want to drink a beer, and it fulfills that role. And really, what else can you say about it? I think it's really unfairly judged by the connoisseurs. I could be wrong. Maybe I have bad taste. Maybe it really is bad. I'd like to hear your comments. I mean, there's millions of people that drink this beer every day. So InBev is satisfying its customers. I don't know if this beer is sold around the world, okay? I don't know if it's sold outside the United States. Maybe it is. So anyway, I don't care really. If you think I'm an idiot for giving this a good rating, I mean, I really don't care. I'm gonna let haters hate. So, laissez les bon temps rouler. This is a good beer. And I'm gonna end this review by saying, y'all come on down to New Orleans and try some Busch.